Hi guys, you're welcome to the channel today. In this video, I'll be sharing with you guys the sewing tutorial of this shoulder dart bustier dress with a stylish illusion neckline. So if this is what you're interested in, please keep on watching and let's get started. So as you can see, I've already gone ahead to draft my pattern. In case you're here to see the pattern tutorial of this particular style, it's on my channel. I'll drop a link to the video in my bio, so you can go ahead to check that out. So those notches at the shoulder part are where the net or the illusion is going to start from. So when joining my panels, I will sew to the notched point. So when cutting my pattern on my fabric, I went ahead to add 0.5-inch seam allowance for joining. So I also went ahead to notch where the illusion at the neck area is going to stop, and from that point I'll be sewing down. So after notching that point, you go ahead to sew the panel just as the way I place them like so, and then you're going to do the same thing for your lining. So these are the panel for the back pattern. I went ahead to notch the areas that are going together and then the up areas so as not to make a mistake. And I've also gone ahead to cut on my lining. So then after doing that, we're going to be joining other pieces together. Now the way I placed it like so is how you're going to join it. And as you're joining your fabric, you're doing the same thing for your lining. So I'll go ahead to join all the panels together. So I've gone ahead to join the front panels together, starting from the notched points and then to the ending. So after joining them together, I went ahead to open the seams and iron them. So I notched the underbust. So from the underbust, I used my breast ball to iron the seams open. So at this front part, we're going to be fixing a bra cup at the bust area, but we'll keep that one aside first. Later on, I will show you how to fix it. So after ironing the seams open for the back panel, I went ahead to fix my bone on one side. Now to fix the bone, I used an invisible boning channel pattern, whereby you fix each side of the bone to the seam allowance so as not to make it appear at the front part. So as you can see, I went ahead to sew one side of the bone to one of the seam allowance and the other one to the other seam allowance. Now I'm going to fix that for the second back pattern, and then I'll also do the same thing for the front part. I'll be fixing for the front part from the underbust to about 0.5-inch away from the full length, just as you see me doing like so. So after fixing it, I went ahead to give it a good press to make you relax. Next thing, I have this long strip that I folded like a bias, and that's what I'm going to use to form my loop hole for the back. So instead of using eyelets, I'm going to be using the strip to form my loop hole. So I'm going to head to fix the loops on one side, but I'm going to show you how to fix it on the second back pattern. So then I also went ahead to fix my yoke and then turn the lining with the modesty panel. Now, if you don't know how to do the modesty panel, just drop a question that you want to learn about it, and then I'll make a video on modesty panel. So then I'm going to measure 2 inches or 2.5 inches for each of the loop. Now you're going to cut as many as you want to use for your loophole at the back. Now to determine that, you're going to mark the spot where you want to put the loophole. So I'll first of all be coming down by 0.5 inch. That's what I'm going to use to turn my lining. And then from that point, I'm going to put one loophole there. Then I came down by 1.5 inch. So each of that 1.5 inch is going to contain each loophole. So after doing that, you count how many you have there, and then that's how you get the amount of loophole you will put in at the back. So since I've already gone ahead to fix loophole on one side of the back, I'll be using it to cross check the other one if they are equal. So to do that, I place the other back on top of the first one, and then I'm just going to check if the lines meet together, because you want to make sure that the loopholes at the back are in the right spots. So next I'm going to fold each of the piece that are serving as my loophole into two. Then I'll place them on each of the points. Then I'll pin it down. So after pinning all of them down, I'll go ahead to turn the back pattern with my yoke and my lining, and then also go ahead to turn that side where the loophole will be. So after pinning all of them down, I'm going ahead to turn my yoke pattern. So I'm going to place my yoke on the back pattern like so. Then after doing that, I'll be placing my lining on top of it, front side facing front side, just as you see me doing like so. So I'll go ahead to turn the lining with half an inch, and then after doing that, I'll sew the side of the loophole. So after doing that, this is what I got. You're going to go ahead to press it to make it relax. So this is how yours should be looking when you're done fixing your yoke and turning the back pattern with your lining. So now let's get to the front part. So guys, this is my front part. I've gone ahead to fix my line bone on the center part and also on the under bust area. Now this is my lining, and like I said before, I'll be putting a bra cup. So the bra cup, I went ahead to fix it on the lining. I just placed the bra cup on top of the bust area and then I pin it all around. So I'm going to explain again with this second side. So first of all, I'm going to notch the midpoint of the bottom part of the bra cup. Now after notching it, that midpoint is going to be on the underbust line, which I've already notched. So I'm just going to pin it down, and then after securing that area now with my pin, I'm going to turn the lining to the front part, and then I'm just going to pin the bra cup all around it to make sure that it is relaxed on it, just as you see me doing like so. I'm going to pin it all around, and then I'll go ahead to tack those places I pin. So guys, the next thing to do now is to fix my net fabric on the space that we have left. So I've already gone ahead to cut the illusion pattern on my net fabric, and I added half-inch seam allowance or joining allowance all around it. So then I'm just going to open it up to show you how it looks. The front part, which is the net area, is one piece, but you can go ahead to double it if you like. And the shoulder part is into two for both shoulders. So I'll first of all be illustrating for the neckline. So I'll first of all notch the midpoint, and then I'll try and look for the front and the back, because I'm going to be placing the front part on the front side of the fabric. Now, after getting the front side, I'll just shut down the back area so I will not make a mistake. So I'll be joining one side of the net first of all. So I'm going to place it front side facing front side, just as you see me doing like so. And I'll pin it from where the joining end at the midpoint to the notched area at the upper part. Now, before doing this, you first of all be folding your neckline. Now, I forgot to do that, but while joining, I went ahead to fold my neckline. You're going to fold the neckline for the net area first of all before joining it. So I'll go ahead to pin on my fabric and then take it to my sewing machine to stitch it down. So I'm just going to make this part slow so you can get it, because this is the only one I'm explaining. I also went ahead to join the shoulder part off camera so that this video will not be too lengthy. So this is what you get after you finish sewing it. So we're going to be turning that with lining, but because of the fact that I'm trying to make this video beginners friendly, we'll be taking it step by step. So this is it after I finish joining the net part on the shoulder area and also on the neck. So next up, I'm going to be turning the places that I joined the net with my lining. Before doing that, I've gone ahead to top stitch my bra cup on the lining. I went ahead to just sew it all around like a corset. So to turn the lining, you're going to first of all turn your fabric to the rough side and then you place your lining on top of it, just as you see me doing like so. So I'll first of all be turning the shoulder line, the two shoulders, before I'll go ahead to turn the neck. So after placing it like so, you go ahead to pin the shoulder from one side and then you pin the other side. Now just watch closely as you see me doing like so. So I'll explain again in case you don't understand. Now I first of all turn my fabric to the rough side and then I place the lining on top of it. Just as when you finish sewing, this is how it's going to look like the inside beneath. So then I'll first of all be turning both shoulders before going ahead to turn the neckline. So I'll take one side of the shoulder of the lining and then turn the other side of the fabric with the lining and I'll pin it down. Make sure that the point where the sewing stop is equal with the lining. If it's not equal, go ahead to correct that. Now, after getting the equal length, you're going to pin it from where the net stops to the shoulder line. Make sure that it is equal and then you'll be sewing that with half an inch. Then when sewing that, you'll be adding your fet to sew it. So although I've not sewn it yet, but this is how it's going to look after you finish sewing it. So after sewing, you turn and iron that part. Then you go ahead to do the same thing for the second one. So you first of all be sewing one first. After achieving that, then you do the second one. So I'm just going to explain. Let's just assume that I've already gone ahead to sew it. So I placed the other one to front side facing front side. Then I'm going to pin it down. So after you finish pinning, go ahead to turn it correctly to the front part and see if it is aligned very well before you go ahead to sew the areas that you've pinned down. So this is how it's going to look after you finish sewing it. So I'll take it to my sewing machine now and stitch down the places that I've pinned down already. Like I said before, when you're sewing it, you're going to be sewing it together with your fet. So this way, when you finish sewing, you're not going to be top stitching it. Just notch it, and after notching it, take it to your ironing table and then iron it. It's going to be relaxed, and so the lining is not going to be coming out because of the fet. So I've gone ahead to turn the second shoulder. Now I'm going to be turning the neckline. So it's the same process to turn the neckline. So to turn the neckline, you're going to turn the fabric inside out and then you'll still be sewing it just like the way you did for the shoulder line, front side facing front side. Make sure that the notched area where the net ends on the fabric is the same length with where you're sewing in on the lining. If it's not the same, after measuring it, you go ahead to correct that. So I'll first of all be pinning one side and then I'll take it to my sewing machine to sew that. Now, like I said before, after pinning it, you turn your lining to the front side and then you examine if it is okay. And then if it's okay for you, you go ahead to stitch it down, and then after doing that, you do the same thing for the second side of the neckline. So I finished turning one side. I've gone ahead to notch it, and then I'm just going to remove the pins and then turn it to the front side, so we'll see how it looks like. So we'll just go ahead to iron that part and let the felt and the lining gum together, so the lining will not be moving out. Now after you've done that, for time's sake, I'm just going to go ahead to fix the other side of the neckline. Now to fix the other side, you're still going to turn it inside out, front side facing front side, just as you see me doing, like so. I'm going to turn it from the bottom part because there is no much space. So then after doing that, just watch closely and see how I'm doing it. After doing that, I'm going to pin it and then add my fets, then sew. So I place the fet on top of the lining part and I will sew with 1/2 inch. So I've gone ahead to sew it off camera, and then I'm going to remove my pins. I've also notched the seams. So I'm going to remove my pins now and turn it, so we'll see how it look. So this is it now, though it's looking rough, so I'll go ahead to iron it. Now because of the fit, I don't need to be top stitching the neckline. I'll just take it to my ironing table and then press with my iron, and then it's going to be relaxed. So ensure you've taken your pins out before you iron it. Now guys, look at the cup area. See how it's looking like a corset? You don't need to wear a bra when you're wearing this dress. So if you're finding this video interesting and you're finding it helpful, please go ahead to give this video a thumbs up. Please give it a thumbs up, and then do well to subscribe to this channel to help us to grow. So guys, at this point, I've already ironed all of the seams, and then I ironed the brow cup area with my breast ball. So next, I'm going to be shaping my dress. Now see how beautiful and neat it looks on the inside. So next, I'm going to be introducing our back patterns, and we'll first of all be joining the shoulder. So there are two ways to join your shoulder. I'm just going to explain that. Now the back yoke part has a lining, so I'm going to place it front side facing front side, like so, and then I will turn using one side of the lining at the back. I'll use it to turn the front side like a sandwich method, but I'm not be using this method for joining my shoulder because I want to weave the shoulder. Now this is just optional, so I'm just going to place my shoulder like so and then join with 1/2 inch. So after joining the shoulder, go ahead to shape our main fabric with our sewing allowance, or you can take your body measurements all around it from the bust area to the waist to the hip line. So then I'll just go ahead to remove my sewing allowance of 2 inches, and then I'll be doing the same thing for my lining. So I'll be sewing the lining parts front side facing front side of the front and the back, and then I'll also do the same thing for my fabric. So guys, I've gone ahead to shape my fabric, and then I trimmed the excess allowance. So then I also went ahead to add my regular bone to the side using the same knit boning channel pattern. So then after doing that, you can see that the thing is curvy. To make it straight, you take it to your ironing table and iron it to make it flat. So this is basically optional. It is not a must that you must add red line bone to the side part. I just decided to add it for mine so as to snatch my waist very well. So this is how it should look after you finish ironing it. It should be looking like this, very neat on the inside. So guys, the last thing to do is to hem the bottom part of this top. So to do that, I'm just going to pin the bottom area. Make sure that the lining is equal with the fabric length. Any excess, you're going to trim that out. So I'm going to pin it now to secure it first of all before trimming it out. So I'm going to place both of the back pattern, measuring the loophole area if the back length is equal together. So there is a little bit of excess, so I'll use my scissors to trim it to make both pattern equal. So the next I'm going to measure what I have at that hem line. I'll measure it all round with my tape, just as you see me doing, like so. Then whatever I've got, I'm going to cut a long strip on it. So I have 37 inches. So I'm just going to cut like 38 or 39 inches long strip with about 2 inches wideness. So this is a long strip that I'm going to use to bias the bottom part. So the length of this is 2 inches, and then the wideness is the measurement I got at the M line with about 1.5-inch folding allowance. So to fix the bias, I place front side of the bias with front side of the fabric at the bottom part, and then I came out with about 1/2 inch for folding allowance. Then I'm going to pin that bottom part to meet with the other end, and then take it to my sewing machine and sew with 1/2 inch. Now you're going to pin and follow the shape of the hem line. So now I've finished sewing it. So to finish it up, I'm going to fold the excess I brought out for the folding allowance, and then after folding it inward, I'll fold the bottom ones and then fold it again. Then I'm going to secure it with my pin. Then after doing that, I'm just going to be folding the extra pieces and then securing it to my pin. Then when I'm done folding it to the other end, I'll take it to my sewing machine and then top stitch it. So this is how it looks. And then after sewing it, you go ahead to finish up your armhole area by adding your sleeve, whatsoever kind of sleeve you want to use. And then that is all for the dress. So guys, this is the finished look of the dress on my mannequin. So tell me your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think I nailed it? And if you find this video helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you like the kind of video you see on this channel, please do it to subscribe and then turn on your notification bell to be notified when there is a new video. So guys, please do it to follow me on Instagram and on TikTok using the name Eleganza TV. See you next time for another amazing tutorial on this channel.